Your home is not messy because you are lazy. It is messy because putting things away demands unnecessary extra effort. Right now, somewhere inside your house, an object is sitting exactly where it should never permanently remain for very long. It is not lost, it is simply waiting at a temporary stop you created without even realizing it happened today. Every single item you set down today will demand a second touch before it finally rests in its true place. 20 small, unfinished tasks scattered around your home do not feel like 20 tasks anymore. They feel like one weight. You feel it as exhaustion, as heaviness, as a room that demands a deep clean you never have time for. But here is the truth nobody tells you. The problem is rarely your discipline or willpower, it is your system. Today, one simple idea from Japanese home organization can quietly change how your entire house behaves every single day forward. Picture this scenario. Scissors sit on your kitchen counter because their real home is inconvenient, tucked behind three other things. Reaching that drawer means opening a cabinet, lifting a lid, and moving several stacked objects aside just to store it. So you leave the scissors right there, telling yourself you will put them away later tonight. But tonight rarely comes. By evening, paperwork joins the scissors, then a cup, then a jacket, then a stack of mail nobody opened yet. This is exactly how clutter begins. Quietly, one small delayed decision stacking on top of another, hour after hour passes. You are not undisciplined, you genuinely want a tidy home, but the system is working against you every single day. When putting one item away takes 6 steps, but leaving it out takes only one, guess what wins every time? Your storage system is quietly choosing clutter for you, one exhausting extra step at a time without you noticing it. There is a solution, and it comes from a simple Japanese idea called one-touch storage, and it works instantly. The principle is simple. An object's path home should feel as easy as taking it out in the first place. Rule 1 asks you to complete an item's entire journey using only a single deliberate touch. Nothing more, nothing less. Look closely at whatever collects on your dining table, kitchen counter, or the chair in your room right now. None of those items are truly lost. They are simply waiting at an unfinished intermediate stop somewhere in your home. A shirt lands on a chair. A bill stops on the counter. A cup stays on the desk, left overnight. Each stop creates a small task that must be finished later, usually much later than planned, if it happens at all. An item set down temporarily gets touched a second time, a third time, sometimes even more before finally resting fully. With 20 items like this scattered around, the whole house feels heavy, overwhelming, impossible to manage without a total overhaul. One-touch storage removes that middle stop completely, sending each item straight to its final place. No detours, no delays. When you finish using something, your very next touch should be the moment it truly returns, not moves somewhere temporary. This is not only about habit, because habits only work when your home genuinely supports them, day after busy day. Try this tonight with one item, your keys, your scissors, your remote, or your favorite hair tie, with no exceptions. Notice where your hand naturally wants to place it, because that instinct reveals the real problem hiding inside your system. Rule 2 insists that every item deserves one clear, specific, unmistakable address inside your entire home, never a vague guess. Saying it belongs somewhere inside the kitchen cabinet is not actually a real address at all. It is only guessing. Instead, give the scissors an exact spot. Top drawer, right side, inside the small tray, beside the can opener. A clear address means you find things instantly, without wasting a single second thinking or searching through cluttered, confusing drawers. It also lets everyone else in your home put things away without constantly having to ask you where anything belongs. When an address stays vague, putting something away becomes a tiny decision every single time again. All day, every day. Which drawer? Do I move something first? I will just deal with it later. Exhausting, right? Those thoughts repeat constantly. When you're tired or rushing, items land in the nearest spot, never the correct one, and clutter quietly grows. A truly effective address meets three conditions: quick to find, quick to return, easily understood by everyone living there. Start with just three items that constantly get misplaced, and give each one a specific home you can name instantly. Complete the sentence for each one. This item always returns exactly to this specific spot. No thinking required whatsoever. But even a perfectly clear address can still fail if it sits too far from use. Distance quietly defeats clarity. Rule 3 says store every item exactly where its journey through your home actually ends, not where tradition says. We usually organize by category: cleaning cloths here, sunscreen there, shopping bags somewhere in the kitchen, tidy on paper only. But a home is not lived through categories. It is lived entirely through constant, everyday movement from room to room. Ask yourself where you actually wipe the table, or the exact moment you remember sunscreen exists before stepping outside today. If your cleaning cloth sits far across the kitchen, it keeps getting abandoned right on the table every single time. Keep your reusable bags beside your car keys, exactly where you actually leave the house every single morning. Always. The best address is never the one tradition dictates, it is the one your movement demands from moment to moment. Test this with one simple question. When I finish using this, where am I standing right at that exact moment? Now compare that spot to where the item is currently stored, close by or far away, in a totally different area. You do not need to rearrange everything, just change one address and observe for 1 week. Then watch what happens. If the item finally returns naturally, you did not suddenly gain discipline, you gained real logic built directly into your home. But sometimes distance is not the real issue. Sometimes too many layers block the way between your hand and storage. Rule 4 asks you to remove just one single layer of effort from your storage system, however small that layer. That beautiful closed container looks flawless on a shelf, but it might be secretly working against you every single day. Putting one item away means pulling the box, lifting the lid, finding space, closing it again, then pushing it back. So the item sits on top of the lid instead, and soon a brand new pile forms right there instantly. Lidded containers are not bad. They suit seasonal items and things you rarely ever touch more than once a year. The real problem starts when that same multi-step system holds items you actually use daily, over and over again. Look at the layers between your hand and storage. A door, a lid, a second box hidden inside another box. You do not need to remove every layer today. Eliminating just one step changes everything about how your home feels. If your children ignore a lidded toy bin, remove the lid completely and watch what happens for just 1 week. For everyday essentials buried inside small pouches, create one open tray they can grab instantly without unzipping a single thing. Try putting daily items away using only one hand. If that fails, a step is removable, waiting to be simplified. Every door, lid, box, or object you must move first is one more chance for clutter to quietly win again. Rule 5 organizes belongings by how often you use them, not simply by neat categories that only look organized. A cabinet organized by category might look orderly, but daily life often disagrees completely with it, quietly, every single day. Items you use daily should never sit buried behind things you touch once a month, or maybe not at all. Reserve the easiest reach for daily items, deeper space for weekly ones, high shelves for seasonal things you barely touch. Divide everything into 3 simple levels: often used, sometimes used, and rarely, almost never, used, gathering quiet, forgotten dust. Open a drawer you struggle with and ask honestly if front items are truly your favorites or simply convenient placement. Move your favorite mug forward and push the rarely used one quietly toward the back, out of daily view completely. Place your evening pan somewhere that never requires lifting another heavier pan first every single time you simply want dinner. In the bathroom, keep morning essentials within instant reach and store backups somewhere farther back, out of your rushed way. When frequently used items sit conveniently, you search less and leave far fewer things out on counters and tables constantly. There is one clear sign a cabinet fails: touching several unneeded things just to reach one item you actually need. Fixing frequency is often as simple as swapping two items' positions inside the very same drawer. Nothing bought, nothing new. Rule 6 insists every item must be removable completely on its own, without disturbing anything else stacked around it nearby. Think of a stack of baking sheets. You always need the one buried at the very bottom. Of course, always. So you pull the entire stack, lift each sheet above it, remove yours, then stack everything back again, exhausted, immediately. After cooking, that clean sheet often just stays on the counter until tomorrow or even longer, quietly adding to clutter. The same problem happens with cutting boards, pot lids, folded clothes, and important stacked documents you actually need urgently. Try storing these items vertically instead, so each one slides out completely on its own without touching anything else nearby. You do not need to stand everything upright. The real principle here is simply independence, not a rigid new rule. Ask yourself honestly, can I remove one item here without moving three others first, easily in under 5 seconds? If you cannot, consider adding a simple divider, an upright rack, or fewer items total sharing that one cramped space. Sometimes you do not need another organizer. Just rotate objects or split one pile in two, and everything suddenly works better. A small rotation, a simple divider, or one honest reduction often solves what feels impossible after months of frustration. Independence is the quiet difference between a system that works and one that constantly fights you every single frustrating time. Rule 7 treats every container as a strict limit, never an invitation to keep filling it endlessly without ever noticing. A basket can feel resolved because the surrounding surface looks clear, but look closer, honestly, at what hides inside it. Remotes, cables, dead batteries, random notes, forgotten toys, all crammed inside one confused basket together, solving absolutely nothing at all. That is not a storage system anymore. It is simply clutter hiding inside a nicer container, dressed up to look tidy. Every single container deserves one clear purpose, whether outgoing items, urgent papers, or specific supplies used only in that spot. When purpose stays clear, you instantly recognize whatever does not actually belong inside it. No second thought required at all. When a container overflows, resist buying another one. Examine what is actually already inside it before adding even more space. Ask if items truly share the same purpose or simply landed there without a real decision ever being properly made. Ask if anything moved to another room while still keeping its old, forgotten address here, quietly taking up needed space. Ask if something is broken, expired, or simply never used anymore. Honestly, right now, sitting there taking up space still. A container's physical limit reveals when an area holds more than it can truly support, no matter how organized it looks. Choose one overflowing container today and ask honestly what single job it is meant to do. Then keep only that. Rule 8 demands that everyone living in your home can actually understand and use the system, not just you alone. You can divide toys into highly specific categories, but children rarely understand or follow those categories at all, honestly speaking. So the toys land right back on the floor, exactly where they always seem to gather, no matter how you organize. A shared system only works when every single user can put things away independently, confidently, without asking anyone for help. The same problem shows up in kitchens, laundry rooms, and every messy, shared family closet you can think of, honestly. One person knows exactly where everything belongs, while everyone else just opens drawer after drawer, confused, giving up almost instantly. A truly shared system needs fewer decisions, not more categories piled on top of each other, confusing everyone in the house. Use simple, obvious labels or pictures for young children who cannot read written words yet, but understand images instantly, easily. Place baskets at a height the intended user can genuinely, comfortably, easily reach without help, standing on nothing but their feet. Give one area one clear purpose, instead of cramming several unrelated categories into that single space, hoping everyone understands it. Test this simply. Ask another person to put 3 items away without giving any instructions whatsoever, then watch what happens. If they hesitate or ask questions, the system is unclear. Not that person's fault, honestly. The blame belongs to the design. Rule 10 asks you to examine any item that keeps reappearing in the exact same spot, no matter how many times. Imagine returning the scissors to their drawer 3 times this week, yet they keep coming back to the kitchen counter again. You could keep carrying them back or keep reminding yourself to somehow be more disciplined, but that rarely fixes anything. But that constant reappearance is actually evidence. The current address simply does not fit your life, no matter how hard. Check 4 things honestly. Is it too far? Too many layers? Too full? Or unclear to everyone living in your home? If all 4 conditions check out fine, ask whether the item truly needs keeping at all, honestly, right here, right now. Sometimes the fix is moving the item. Sometimes it means removing a lid entirely, forever, letting the space breathe again. Sometimes it means adding a simple hook exactly where the item actually gets removed daily, without a single extra thought. And sometimes the honest solution is admitting this item no longer needs a home at all and letting it finally go. Watch a familiar clutter spot for several days. Notice exactly which items appear there first and who keeps placing them. A chair always covered in clothes might simply be missing a place for worn, unwashed clothing that does not need washing. Recurring clutter never means you have failed. It simply shows the current system needs adjusting. One small step forward now. One important exception exists. Certain items always need extra caution. Never speed, never convenience, especially medicine, knives, and dangerous chemicals. Matches, lighters, breakable objects, anything risky around children or pets deserve locked, careful, distant storage. Safety always outweighs pure convenience. You also do not need to replace every lidded box with an open, exposed basket. Some things deserve real protection. Closed containers for seasonal belongings, rarely touched items, and anything needing genuine dust protection from everyday wear and tear. A good system never applies one identical rule to every object inside your entire home. It adjusts thoughtfully to real life. Tonight, do not open every cabinet and dump everything out onto your already exhausted floor. That only creates more overwhelm. Instead, take 3 small steps. Choose one surface that constantly, reliably collects everyday clutter, no matter how hard you try. Next, find the item that appears there most often and count how many actions returning it requires. Honestly, right now. Finally, remove just one action, move it closer, remove a layer, or create a clearer address it truly deserves. Finally, then simply observe that one surface for a full week and notice what genuinely changes without forcing anything at all. If the item finally returns naturally, you've found a system that genuinely works for you, not against you ever again. A tidy home is not one where nothing is ever left out. It simply returns easily, without demanding endless effort daily.